Oh yeah, this baby's coming with me, that's for sure. Wow. Look at this thing, it's gorgeous. Whoever made weapons like this, well, they sure had fine taste. And a flair for art, that's for sure. If I could just pick this thing apart and figure out how it works. Ah, man. But then again, someone might want it whole. If I sell this to like the consortium, oh, they'd want this tech. They want this tech so badly, they'd pay a fortune and we'd be rich and... Yeah, I don't know what that's worth anymore. If we're already rubbing shoulders with nobility, I don't know what we're gonna do with the money. Never thought I'd say that. I guess for now we just gotta make it out of here. This is some pretty upsetting news. Someone attacked the ship inside of the portal? How's that even possible? What is there inside of a portal anyway? I didn't think there was any space between getting out of one place and getting into another. But now I'm starting to wonder. And what does that make us? If we're gonna make a jump, and these people know that we're onto them, how do we know they're not lingering inside of a portal? Then again, if they were onto us, if they knew about this that we're finding now, they would have picked it out long ago. No, it's only us here. Us, floating corpses, and the depth. And, well, possibly some kind of huge stealth shark. But I think I have another idea at this point. This is Red Moon Roleplaying.
Purely theoretical talk. Could a ship be, or It's like they were attacked during the transit by something that could fire torpedoes. And the torpedoes are very unusual, but at the same time, the symbols on them. Has someone... I don't have any basis for this. I look to Nadina. Has someone managed to make a ship or a weapon that can intercept portal travel?
Something that has been theorized. It's something the consortium has certainly tried to develop. If one had something like that, imagine what you could do. The entire crew is in stasis during the jump itself. If you were actually able to operate there, imagine the kind of damage you would be able to do. But I'm not aware of anyone having that kind of technology. It's way beyond what I'm aware of.
Also, like, where would the ship even be? The portals, well, I kind of stutter a little, as of course I don't actually know how the portals work. Hell, even top scientists don't actually know how the portals work, do they? We just use them. But where would you be? Where are you when you're travelling from one portal to the other? Obviously you're somewhere, but I always just assumed you were going very, very, very fast through space. Kind of. No?
The dark between the stars? Nadina says in a hushed tone. That's what it is, isn't it?
Well, that's a cursed ship if it's lurking in the darkness between the stars. I give a shiver. Man, reading a log from a dead ship always feels like reading a freaking ghost story. Well, we got what we wanted, right? So whatever it means, we're gonna take it back.
I suppose that's true. That was the mission. We know that they came under attack. Do the Order of the Pariah know about this? Did they do it?
Hey, hang on a sec. I'll just go over to you again. So, it says here, 5 unidentified objects inbound, then hull breaches. Well, here's a stasis chamber offline. That's probably what we found floating up there in space. Parts of the stasis chamber, thrusters, powder fields, fluctuations. And then main anomaly on collision course. This says it's another, I mean, I don't know if this is another 5 unidentified objects or if the same, like a salvo of torpedoes that being launched twice here. If they collided with something else, this was supposed to be the anomaly. I just look at you, and then I just turn my head in the direction of what I think is the hangar.
Maybe. There's also something else of interest. I look at the numbers on the probes that were launched and the probes that were destroyed. They don't quite match. Now, does that just mean that the ship only detected the destruction of certain probes and the other probes are just lost? It says it launched probes 1, 3, and 5, but only probes 2 and 4 were actually confirmed destroyed.
Yes, that is true. It's a good question what happened to the others. There's a lot to analyze here for sure. And Pig, you remarked on something. Main anomaly. Collision confirmed.
It says there it's a structural collapse in hangar and central shaft just after the anomaly hit the thing. That must be it. Whatever it was, that must be... We gotta get out there. That could be the main key to unraveling the mystery.
Are you saying the torpedo is what they actually hit?
No, I'm saying that the stealth field that what you saw in the hangar, where we didn't see anything, that is the anomaly. See, they got unidentified objects. That's not the anomaly. And then it says main anomaly on collision course. So I think the unidentified objects are the torpedoes, while the anomaly, whatever it is, it's what's residing out there that we actually can't see at this point. Like this could be this could actually be a little fighter, or a torpedo ship, like something small, like a shuttle that somehow has this stealth thing. Look, I know I was joking around before talking about stealth sharks and stuff, but I'm dead serious about this. Whatever it is, it could be the clue to the whole mystery.
All right.
It could be a mini butterfly ship. Okay, maybe that was a bit stupid. I don't know, but
well, we have seen butterfly ships before. Okay, well let's get the disc. Start making our way back. I suppose there's no harm in just having a little look. But if we see some sort of, I don't know, hideous alien life form or something, we're not investigating. I want to live.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Well, alright. I'm gonna give you that. And then you can maybe escort Nadina here to the surface. But we's gonna have a look.
You begin making your way back to the hangar. On the way, Dala swims up to you, Pig. Impressive work on the torpedo there. How did you understand how it worked? It's so strange, isn't it?
Yeah, I will give it that. It's completely different from anything I've seen before. It's, you know, these things sometimes they sing to me in a way. It's like they want to tell me their secrets, and all I have to do is open them up and see what it is.
Yeah, it was so beautiful, wasn't it? The patterns and everything. It's just I've seen few things like that.
It's made by someone who's a real worshipper of yeah. But then again, you know, some people are absolutely crazy in their head, but people who make beautiful things, you know, there's I'll give him respect. Do you help me get it unlodged and we can bring it with us?
Yeah, I'll do that, Dala says, and as you get to the corridor where the torpedo is lodged, you're able to dislodge it, and between the two of you, you're able to bring it with you to the hangar, and you find yourself back there. And now that you know what you know, your eyes keep being drawn back to the center of the hangar. And as you are there, there's a towering shadow flickering in and out of focus just at the edge of your vision. Beautiful flowing shapes and organic patterns that spring out of nothing, only to disappear again just as quickly. You keep turning your head, Pig and Carlo, faster and faster, each time catching only a fleeting glimpse of the mirage's maddening forms. Then, eventually, something flashes briefly into focus. Something that reminds you of the ship that you saw above the Kuan jungles. The butterfly. But it's dark, and it's dead. The insect's wings are torn and its body broken, and tears through the hull streak its sides. Tears large enough for an exo.
Yeah. Ooh. There's a lot of swelling energies around here. Something's very strange, but, I just give a shrug, feeling a bit speechless as I was making this joke before as well.
I don't think I like this, but I do see it. Yes, it's similar. Same sort of ship design. But who designed ships like this? Is this some sort of strange new technology? Old technology? I don't know. Well, there you are, Pig. There it is. I'd hate to say it, but I don't think we're going to be able to salvage the entire thing. If you want to get anything, you're going to have to... Well, we're going to have to... You could always have a little look, I suppose.
It's a dark butterfly. It's a mini butterfly. This is... You know what this means, man? It's like... This is part of the whole thing, the strange attack, the emissary, yeah. But if it were, I always somehow figured that would somehow be connected to the maniacs, man. This doesn't say that. Because if it were them, if this was all connected to the pariah, then they'd have come for their ship. I mean, they're basically in the whole system. If it's something else, if you guys want to go ahead, I don't mind, but I have to go in here.
We're coming, Dala and Jasmine says. Wouldn't miss this for the world. Nadina gulps and then she also nods. Yes, I'm with you.
I roll my eyes a little. I suppose we should all stick together, and it would be interesting to know. I don't know, Pig. Remember, this ship was also on Kua. I thought the Judicator flew off in it, but it turned out that was incorrect. But someone on Kua, very nearby where we were, well, suddenly took off in a ship like this. Like this, not exactly the same.
Is this like the same size, or is it a smaller version, or...?
It's so difficult to tell. You felt like the ship that you saw was bigger. What your idea was, that this was maybe a mini butterfly? It's... Something about that feels like it might make sense, but... It was only for a moment that you saw it fly away also, so... It's possible that it's exactly the same design. You can't know for sure.
Right, well, I don't want to stay around here any longer than I have to. Alright, Pig, let's go and... You can maybe breach that opening a little more. Let's all stick together. We're not going to poke anything. Let's just... If it's a ship, it's got to have systems, right? Systems where you can find things out on.
Yeah. I mean, I just wonder how it even flies. I'm just flicking on my video device to film as much as this is possible. It's not going to be the best quality with the darkness and everything, but if there's anything I can learn about this technology, I want it.
Yes.
And then I want to make my way inside, and I also want to see who's piloting this. Are there people? Is it something else?
The video that you're capturing from outside, it's just all garbled. It's dark. The technology, it's working. You can see it with your eyes, partially at least. You see the tear at the very least, but it's not picking up well on the video. But you are able to enter if you would like. Would you like that?
I have to.
Well, then you begin doing that. and the tear in the side of the ship reveals an octagonal corridor with mother-of-pearl support beams, melding seamlessly with smooth walls covered in starry mosaics. There's light in here. The uniform soft iridescence of the materials used makes it hard to tell walls from floors from ceilings. As you enter, you discover that you must have passed through some form of ED field, because the interior of the ship appears to be pressurized. Moving around is as heavy as before, though, as if the ship is too highly pressurized. There's light here and no water, but your sensors are all dead. You're inside some form of central shaft. It's like being inside of a tower that has fallen over, and there are openings in this central shaft, 6 small chambers that you can climb up into or fall down into. They're all in the wrong place, if you understand what I mean. But you can get into them if you would like.
I suppose I could crawl into one small shaft very quickly just to try and see. Does it make any difference if we turn on, our suit's lights? It's so dark in here.
It's actually light in here now. You don't even need your flashlights anymore. This thing has power. It's hardly even damaged from what you can see. No, it's actually in perfect condition. Yeah. Huh.
Considering we entered through a hole, how is this? What, there's some sort of literal... It's like the EDF field is sort of keeping out all the water.
Yes, there might have been an explosive decompression field, an ED field that keeps it together. It's very good in that case. There's that tear that you came in through, but everything else seems intact.
Oh, well, I'll look into one of these chambers then. This place is very unsettling, but it's a ship. It's a ship. It has to make some sense.
You enter into this chamber. It's only a couple of meters deep and wide. It has sloping ceilings. The rooms are made from what looks like perfectly smooth marble, and they give off a faint glow. There's an elevated rectangle measuring 3 by 1 meters in the middle of the room, topped with a slight wavy indentation in the middle, curved in a way that fancy furniture can be. And as you're inside, there's suddenly searing pain shoots between your temples and your heart begins pounding violently, Carlo. A petrifying, blood-chilling blanket of fear and panic envelops you. You can feel an intruding force or entity inside you, and you desperately want to cry out for help. You feel inferior, unworthy, and sullied. And that's what's happening to you in the chamber. Meanwhile, Pig, what are you doing?
Well, I'm looking after him. Seeing as he went into one of these, at first I'm like, this place is really made by the hands of an artist. It's like the marble, the mosaics. It's incredible. It's like someone who's just completely fusing art with technology, an artisan. And that's what I'm just looking around at as Carlo is inside one of these chambers.
Yes. And, Carlo, you scream out, and you hear this. Pig, what do you do?
What's wrong?
I kind of just garble and gurgle as I kind of try and force myself out of the room. I just try and activate my suit systems so that they propel me out of the room as quickly as possible.
And as you are trying to do that, Carlo, you see things. These mother-of-pearl walls, this beautiful, perfect interior, it all turns pitch black. Dark, twisting bones and slithering, oily shapes surround you as if you were standing inside a huge, rotting carcass. And then the pain is gone, and normal reality settles back. Mother of pearl, everything's perfect. This place is nicely lit and peaceful, and you have no more pain. And Pig is standing in front of you.
What was that?
What happened?
I don't know. We should go now. This is all some sort of facade. This isn't real. This is not real. There is something else here. It's some sort of defensive system.
Okay, you just, take it easy for a bit. You just...
All right, then. You go in that room. Go in that room right now.
I believe you. Something happened. Something attacked your brain. I don't know. You're not making sense.
A splitting headache, nausea. I felt like I was being crushed. And then the facade of this beautiful architecture gave way to just darkness and blood and void. It might have been a defensive system. There's a defensive system active here, maybe. Psychological. Maybe frequency based, I don't know. I kind of try and get back into the main area and catch my breath.
I'm just gonna see if I can find a cockpit of any sort. Just like, what would have been steering this place?
You continue exploring, and Nadina and Nadala and Jasma are with you as well. Midship through this shaft, it turns into 3 curved cylinders that spiral into a large chamber spanning the width of the ship. Buoyant, flowing shapes give this chamber an appearance of upward motion toward a star-shaped hole in the ceiling. The floors are coarse, almost porous, and prickled with tiny holes and irregularities. They appear to be made from sandstone or fossilized anemones. Smooth tiles raised slightly above the rest of the floors trace paths from the 3 entrances across this chamber. There are vats in the floors running along the walls filled with beautiful sugar globes and a fine silky mesh that now appears to have leaked out. And you see these sugar globes, this is where they're coming from, drifting slowly through the air, wrapped in a silvery glow. This must be where they're coming from.
Oh, wow. The other technology aside, this here is just worth a fortune.
Yes. And that is not all. Because as you come into this large chamber, there is a large statue cut from a single rock, depicting an orgy of countless humans merging ecstatically into a unified single person, clawing, kissing, biting, and embracing.
Wow. Look at that. But are there any signs of people in here? At least this shows that it's made by people. I was starting to wonder, is we talking about some sort of alien life?
I've been very sullen now. I haven't said a word for some time. I don't want to be here anymore, but I don't want to just run away. And part of me is trying to rationalize what happened as some sort of psychological frequency weapon or something. But then I see this hideous statue. Unnatural. Unsettling. I think back to what I discovered earlier. How was the beast portrayed? This version of the dancer.
You try to think about just that. Can I ask you to do another culture test? And meanwhile, Pig, you see that there are bodies with long limbs that are hovering in the air around the statue, wrapped in white silk. Strange, like they're floating, but there's no water in here, right? It's pressurized.
I squint. Are these actual bodies? I start moving up, trying to get closer to one.
They appear almost mummified, and the dry, paper-thin skin struggles to cover a humanoid, although not entirely human from your medical knowledge. Skeleton that you can see through the skin. You see that the spindly ribs have fused together to form a solid membrane, and the skull and the fingers are elongated and much too thin. The bodies appear sexless, and there's no ocular cavities. They seemingly have no eyes.
I try to get life back into my technology. Can the camera pick anything up, any of this? Or is it all dead in here?
There's a lot of interference on the video. It's not coming through properly, Pig. This is very frustrating because what you're seeing here, this is quite something. Can I get the result of your culture roll, Carlo?
It was a failure, but I must know, and so I will beseech the traveller once more. And that time I get 3 successes.
It's a critical success then. Yes. You know of similar statues and depictions that have been referenced to in Mirren hymns and texts about, just as you guessed, the dancer. There are also manuscripts said to have been brought to the Third Horizon by the oldest gurus in the Mogul Yanhagir fleet. And those texts, they praise something called the Imperator, the Prime Mover, some kind of omnitemporal world soul, a god among gods, the will of the many converging into one. And that is what is brought to your mind as you see this statue. Behind it, you also see some form of iris gate. There is a door beyond it.
This is all seeming like some sort of unknown faction, but they might not be unknown. Maybe they're vestiges. Maybe they're leftovers from forces we thought we'd taken care of back from the Portal Wars. What if they've just been biding their time? What if they found something and they've just been waiting to settle old scores? How could they have done this?
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, so you mean like someone hiding away and then during all this time getting ready to do something.
They might be in the Nazarene sacrifice. Might. Heretics. You know, even people who your sort would find heretical.
I look at you. I don't really know my history all too well, but
Your sector, the Third Horizon, is full of lots of fun little myths and rumours. You at least believe in the icons, and we newcomers acknowledge there is something to that. But even you had people who didn't agree with your way of thinking. We got rid of most of them. Hell, even you didn't. Even people like the Dabrani and various other first-come nations didn't quite see eye to eye. You didn't like the icons for saying they were false gods. Well, here's another type of false god, Pig.
like those... You're talking about the bastards that helped the First Horizon, but were from our side.
Yes.
I can't even... And that they somehow... Maybe they know more about the portals than we do, and they're hiding inside of them. But why these specific attacks? Like, it's so... The only two things we know is that well, there was on Kua and the emissary. I mean, I still think that whoever was on that butterfly ship, they were the ones hurting the emissary and
Oh, Pig, is it that unusual? All the things happening recently. Someone is trying to stir things up. Someone is trying to get a big, nice war going on, and it's currently going quite well from my point of view. If I were... if I were an individual or individuals who thought that my part of space had been taken from me, I'd certainly love to cause some problems for those who took it.
Oh, so maybe they're seeing emissaries as a tool for just creating dissent between those who live here now.
Well, this is their god, and I can assure you, pointing at this statue, that this is not a god of the emissaries. This is, well, the Imperator, the great god of many, the will of many as one. At least that's what it might be. I'm not exactly a historian. There's a door ahead. Why don't you go and see what's beyond it? I'll stay here. We will back you up.
It would be, I believe, of value if we could get one of these bodies back out. I'm not sure how, with all the pressure outside. These are not human bodies, Carlo. If they are, they've mutated or evolved.
Or they could have been modified. I just give Pig a look.
I shrug. Yeah, they could have very targeted modifications, or that they've grown different genetically. But yeah, I suppose that makes sense. That is an alternative. I start going toward that last door leading out of this room with this big looming statue, imagining power built upon humans.
And behind the statue is this iris gate that opens as you approach, seemingly sensing your presence. And it opens into something like a small fountain in the middle of a room. The cylindrical room that you're coming into has elevated platforms extending from the limestone walls, set with amber mosaics. The platforms and walls are covered with the same thin slits as many of the previous rooms, flowing downward to 8 azure semispheres of about 1 meter in diameter underneath the platforms. There's a low ditch in the floor, containing a simple stone bed with the same wavy indentation as in the smaller chambers. Peg, it reminds you of the sensor ditch that you just saw in the Zafirah. This might just be the cockpit, and Peg, there are visors here at each station, ready to be used. You could probably fit that on top of your helmet, Pig. See what they see, what they saw.
Interesting. This must be how it's all controlled somehow. If someone's lying down on that bed or using these visors, I go up and I just touch them. Yeah. Okay. Something tells me we should have brought Aisha with us. This place, maybe it's connected somehow to the mysticism. I shrug and I just take it and I put it on top of my head.
What are you doing? Nadina says, but you've already put it on. And Pig, the ship around you, it fades away as the visor covers your eyes. Isolation and loneliness envelop you. And then, hope. Belonging. You are one with the others, and they are one with you. You float through perfect darkness. The ripples in the surrounding space-time tug at your mind. Exert control by submitting to the stream. Embrace the chaos. Merge with the dance and the darkness between the portals. Months and years in a world between worlds. Many have come before. Many will take your place should you fail. They are all with you at all times. Much time has passed. Suddenly, there is life, blood flowing through the portal. But will it be enough? You move. After what felt like an eternity, your wings come alive again. Light and energy once again flow through the core of the ship. You breach Tawan. The lost star blinds you as the walls around the lost horizon finally crumble. More time. The others have reached out. The system is ours now. But the exile's message got out. Someone may have heard it. You have a mission now. No one must find us, not until the servants awaken from their slumber. Return to the world between the stars. Neutralize all threats. Anxious bliss in the swirling flow of the dance. We are ready. The portal ignites. The ancient enemy is here. A black destroyer carrying frail cargo. Warriors on ice. Frozen meat awaiting death. The wings light up, locking on critical systems, launching torpedoes. Roses of light bending time and space, rending, tearing. But the enemy doesn't yield. The portal collapses. She presses on. If the torpedoes aren't enough, there's only one solution. We begin to move. We cut through the enemy's belly and the darkness between the portals. A glorious end, certain that others will complete the mission. For the Emperor, eternally. And the feeling subsides, and you find yourself taking the visor off.
turn back to look at Nadina. They've taken the Tawan system.
Who?
The ancient... Well, they spoke of us. I was fed some sort of visual log, I think, of what happened. They were seeing from inside of Tawan. They saw the entrance of the destroyer. They tried to take it down, but it pushed on because they wanted to get on to the next portal, I think, to come out here. And they couldn't take it down with their light bending torpedoes, so they decided to crash this ship right into it, and that's what finally brought it down.
By the icons. That's...
These things out there, you saw those bodies, and what Carlos said about the Nazarene something? That's where they've been hiding, or that's where they've come out all of a sudden. I would say that's where they are. They're at Tawan and they're hiding away, and they were so desperate that no one's gonna find out for fear of stopping their plans that, yeah, that's where they smashed the destroyer, and possibly the Ghazali as well.
I frown as all this seemed to happen in seconds, and I'm a little concerned for Pig, but they seem fine. So I say, alright, so that's some sort of log. How convenient. Tawan. Right in the center of the pariah's territory.
Yeah. I wonder if they know.
I'm willing to bet they not only know Pig, they are happily serving this faction, these beings, this enemy. They've obviously somehow come to some sort of arrangement with the Order of the Pariah. They carry out their orders, hence they were going around assassinations, the kidnappings. As you said, they're some sort of... well, I don't know what. But they're our enemy, that's for sure.
And as you say that, you see that is not all in this room. Beyond, it's been lit up now. It's a network of skeletal beams that arc down from the domed ceiling, converging in a spider web that supports a beautifully carved azure semi-sphere adorned with intricate patterns. No ladder or stairs lead up to it from the floor, but there's another bed that hangs underneath it. A spine-like rig over the bed suspends a black helmet just above it. There's hundreds of scarabs that float in the air around this seat that looks more important than any of the others. And it spins around. And there they are. Perfect symmetry, wrapped in a flowing white silk. Moving and shifting like the feathers of an impossible bird. A being. A Vestal. The shape is similar to the bodies you saw floating earlier. The Vestal's eyes, or where its eyes would be, are covered with a silk blindfold, and their hands and arms move in an enthralling dance. They float freely in the air, just under the ceiling, and in your minds you hear, "Seeker, surrender to my warm embrace. Let true love in. Take what you need. Open your eyes. Demand true desire. Listen to your deepest emotions and let them flow through you. Fill the darkness with life and love. Demand true happiness. And you're overcome by a tempest of emotions. And I will ask you both to roll a d6.
4.
4 as well.
Then for both of you, indescribable joy wells up inside you and you find yourself bursting out laughing. It's truly a blessing to be chosen for the honor of meeting what is, clearly to you, a living icon.
and you want nothing more than to make everyone around you understand just how amazing it is.
Well, I knew they were wrong. I knew they were wrong. The emissaries, they're nothing. They're not real. This is an icon. And it's in the flesh. I kneel down. I prostrate myself on the floor. Please take me. Please let me be part of you. Let me aid you. We've come to serve.
I laugh as well. I begin kneeling. Is there any way of resisting this? Because Carlo would very much like to, but is it perhaps impossible now?
You have this feeling. It's a very strong feeling. You see the Legionnaires, they kneel before the Vestal as well, and they look to you and to Nadina. Nadina, she has turned away. She's looking away from all of you as though she's shrinking away from it, as though she's not worthy, as though her form is repulsive and she doesn't want to show it to this icon. But the Legionnaires, they look to you and they say,
Carlo, Pig, join us. We can follow the one true icon, Uhaya, the beast. You can feel her love, can you not? Unconditional, passionate, glorious. We can open the gates. We can let the butterflies in. We can be together eternally, all of us, happy and carefree.
And Carlo, it's with the mention of Uhaya, the beast, yes, that is the aspect of the dancer that is worshipped by the Nazarene sacrifice, the ones who were all destroyed during the Portal Wars. And these Legionnaires are saying this name as though it was the most natural thing to them.
Yes.
Carlo, they are Nazarene. Dala and Jasma. They have been all along. You know this. And so does Nadina.
You're Nazarene?
What do you do?
Well, that depends. After all, this is a divine being. This is the truth. This is everything. And yet, deep down, I am filled with rage. Rage at this God coming, telling me what to do. Let me guess, everything I stand for, everything we stand for, Xenifians stand for, is probably just something that needs to be pushed aside. Like my family, like my parents. I would like to try and reach for my gun, but it is hard, is it not?
It is, but you have your reasons. You have what you believe in, and that's still there. It has not been able to overtake you. Not yet. So you begin reaching for your gun, and Pig, you can see this. What do you feel seeing this living icon in front of you that's filling you with so much joy, and these Legionnaires revealing that they are Nazarene? They are servants of this living icon, working to open the gates to let the butterflies in.
It's all so right, but at the same time, it's so wrong. The whole idea of just worshipping one icon that's, what Carlo said, towering above the rest, with their twisted bodies fused together, meant to rule. No, there's not just one icon. I believe in all of them. It's not right. I get so confused. Does this mean that the entire Legion? Are they them? Have they been all along? It can't be just these two, and just by some strange accident. What about the Judicator and the rest? I just go numb. Like, completely phase out. And I just say no.
No. And I raised the carbine that we found. The custom Legionnaire carbine. You're all heretics. You're unbelievers.
And you have drawn your weapons, and you will start to notice Dala and Jasma going for theirs, seeing that their words hold no sway over you. Nadina has her gun out too, and I would like to ask, who are you going to point your weapons at?
Well, there's the false / nightmarish divine being that I kind of don't want to shoot, but I must. But then there's also, wait, these two, these traitors, these bastards! And I aim at one of them and I fire.
And what of you, Pig?
There's a similar connotation going through my mind. I can't shoot an icon, but at the same time, even if they're divine, it's still not real. They're not supposed to be this way. If they were, then all those floating in the air outside there were as well. It's a trick. It's some sort of trick of the mind. And I try to fire at the floating being.
You do. Your shot goes off. Time stops. And the illusion cracks like a mirror, bending and shattering. Reality itself contorts around you, and you see things for what they truly are. You are suddenly surrounded by oily, dark waters, and reality, the true state of the ship. The walls are charred, the panels ripped open and singed, the mosaics shattered, the beams supporting the captain's seat on the bridge are bent to the point of collapse, threatening to bring the room down over you. As you shoot, the room starts caving in, the walls and ceiling melting and bubbling as a series of flickering bursts of light fills the chamber. The room is beginning to implode, centering on this Vestal that you just shot. And this implosion is expanding slowly outward, spreading, sucking everything in its path towards the glowing orb of melted steel quickly forming at its center. The Legionnaire, the one who you've shot, begins floating towards this orb of steel, and you see Nadina being dragged towards it as well. You feel yourself being pulled too, but you can fight this. What do?
Everything is happening far too quickly. All I can think of is to try and grab Nadina and just fire off my suit's movement capabilities. I don't care about how much fuel I waste. We need to get out of here.
And I would like you then to do a force to see if you have enough strength to pull her and prevent her from being dragged into this implosion.
I do get 1 success on 2 dice.
You catch her. She's screaming, "Carlos, save me!" And, Pig, what are you doing?
I try to make sense of what just happened. Is it all just a corpse of a shell of a ship all of a sudden? It's not real anymore? Whatever we saw before, this beautiful crystalline ship is not real?
There were no ED fields. This thing has been flooded. It's dark, oily water. Everything is burned and destroyed. It was all an illusion, but this thing, it was real, but now it is gone. It is replaced by this ball of melted steel that's sucking everything in. The Legionnaire that was shot and was pulled into it catch on fire, screaming, and you have to get out of here. That is clear to you. Jasma is trying to fire after you and fires against Nadina, and they miss. And they also begin being pulled into this melted steel core. And you can try to get out of here, but I'm going to need you to roll successful dexterity rolls as you attempt to escape.
No, my torpedo, I say. I try to look at side of the wall that I could just punch through, but otherwise, yeah, I'll just try and square my way back from where we must have come. well, I fail that. But getting the feeling that this is kind of important, and you need more darkness points for sure. I am clinging on to the walls for dear life, and I'm starting to chant, "Dancer, dancer, we know that you're with us. You're not one of them. You're the real faith, the real belief. You'll guide us. Dancer, dancer, guide us out." And that's 2 successes. So if Carlo doesn't succeed, I'll be able to help him maybe.
Well, I did not succeed, so maybe you do.
Yes, with that very good success that you got there, Pig, you're able to get both Carlo and Nadina with you. And you're swimming through this derelict ship, making your way through it, and you come out into the hangar, but everything behind you is still being sucked in, and you hear things burning and exploding and imploding, and you realize that you do not have much time as you get into the hangar. You see that torpedo lying there that you had so carefully disarmed, but it doesn't look to be enough time to bring it with you.
There really isn't. After Pig's assistance, I finally do let go of Nadina, and it's time to just get out of here. I just say, we need to get out now!
Can I roll to try and bring it somehow?
It's too big for just you, and Carlo needs to help Nadina. She's quite taken by what's happened, and you see now that, well, he didn't miss completely, so she needs help.
Oh, bugger.
You see that she didn't miss completely. She needs help.
Oh, bugger. I look back at the torpedo. It's so pretty. I hate to leave you down here. But if you're going into that thing, you're gonna explode. I just start paddling them for all my worth, trying to guide us the way back.
Yes. And since you have succeeded on the dexterity roll and you were able to successfully lead them before, you begin your ascent in the faint glow of the sugar globes. The dark shape of the Zafirah below crumbles as if trampled under a giant's boot. A final burst of trapped air escapes the wreck when it suddenly collapses in on itself, for an instant forming a glowing red sun below you. After the brief flash of light, everything goes dark again, and you see the glowing orb stop compressing, now only about 1 meter in diameter. This thing that was the Zafirah, this imploded ship, now just a ball. It slides off the cliffside, sinks out of sight. The dark waters around you begin to boil, and the sugar globes die one by one, and the surging heat chases you upward. You breach the ice in a roaring cascade of steam. And you're out. You look out across the desolate frozen wastes and try to calm your breathing. Something feels wrong. Very wrong. Your intrusion here, it's not gone unnoticed. You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we play the campaign Mercy of the Icons for Coriolis, which is published by Free League. The music was created by AlphaZone and Sabled Sun, and was used with permission from their label Cryochamber. Please check out cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for more of their lovely dark ambient. We also use the official Coriolis soundtrack by Stars on a Black Sea. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Graham Barey, Doug Thomson, Lily, and Mike Parker for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Many Lost, Call of Cthulhu, and Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay there. And you can also get early and raw access to all of our recordings, and hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as even play some Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that Uhaya has traversed the darkness to guide us.